Okay, so what we're doing is we have the new Cogent Dynamic parts came in about a month ago. I'm just finally getting to them. We have the springs here. For me, I'm 215, 220. I got the .63s. I just ordered the kit that had the oil that came with it, instead of me messing around with it. And so that's the part where I'm at now. I got the forks off, the front end's off, front wheels off, and I'm getting ready to put 600 cc's. I'm going to go 300 twice in each fork leg. Then I'll drop the springs in, and then I have the drop-in cartridges. So anyway, I thought I'd just do a short video on doing this. Like I said, pulling the front wheel and stuff is all pretty easy. I flushed out the forks with the Walmart's actually changed their color, but yeah, it's still a Super Tech brake cleaner. So I flushed them out with that. When I bought the bike, the guy said that he had just had the fork seals replaced and you know, new fork oil, and so that seemed to be true. The oil was nice and shiny, nice. It's kind of a red. I'm not sure if it was ATF or what, but anyway, that's why I flushed them out with the brake fluid. And then the fork boots were 13 years old, so I actually had a set of the old Gator wipes from somewhere. It says Gator. Yeah, Gator. Anyway, the old Gator fork wipers from my Suzuki RM500 days, and they're yellow. So I put those on. I like those better than like the socks or the Gator or the fork boots it came with. And they're free. I had them. So anyway, they're for 43 millimeter forks. And so anyway, I'm just getting ready to put these things together. And I did talk to Cogent today, and they said I don't need any spacers. They said all I got to do is run the straight springs. He said when you get the Cogent springs with the Cogent emulators, you don't run the factory stock steel spacers. So I'm not going to. So anyway, I'm just going to put 600. It says 600 milliliters. I don't know why the directions are always like that. It says to be 130 millimeters from the top of the fork tube that you'd measure from here down. 130 millimeters is a smidge, I mean just a little bit over 5 inches. So we can check it that way, but I'm just going to fill it. It says use approximately 600 milliliters per fork legs, which is the same as cc's. So I don't know why they just don't give you that. Whoops. So anyway, so that's what we're going to do. I'm going to pour the oil, and we're going to go here. Probably see some cars driving by because my neighbors are coming home about now. But I don't, this only goes up to 500. And so I could probably fudge on that and go 6 at the top. I think I will. I don't know. Okay, not really sure. Boy, and this stuff's clear. Okay, so there's one bottle is 3. Let's just keep going. Like I said, I can go to 5 and then add 100. So each bottle is sitting at right about 460 cc's. Okay. What you don't want to do is knock over one of these things and you're going to be screwed. So we'll pop this one out. And we'll pull the little safety tab off. Because my forks scare me to death. All right. So we're sitting at about 460. That was actually right at 5. Okay, so we're going to put 500 cc's in, the old screaming yellow banana, and then I'll just have to add 100. Put a little bit in, kind of watching here. And I'm gonna, we kind of old school with these old gator wipes. There's some old guys out there, they probably remember those. And it's probably right at 100 degrees here in Arizona. Okay, let's put some more in. And so I'm sitting at, okay, so I put almost half in because I'm sitting almost at 250. So we'll put the rest of this guy in. I can hear it. Okay, so right now I have 500 cc's or 500 milliliters in the forks. What we're doing is we're just pumping them, getting the fluid circulating in there. Okay, so now I just need to pour. I'm going to lean this guy back up because I'm going to have to use my funnel. So now I need another 100 cc's in my little, there we go, 100. So I need that much. And I already have some in here from what we used. Okay. Yeah, screwing up on this. Suck. All right, so 75, 100. All right. Perfect. All right, so let me get my funnel again. Like I said, everybody knows how to pull the fork wheel off. There's all kinds of videos. I had kind of a hard time. There's one guy who started the video, and then his GoPro batteries went dead, so then he did pictures. But I didn't see anything that really helped me. I wasn't really going to do a video. Yeah, I'm going to let that drain. And while that's draining, I'm going to put this lid back on so I don't spill all my oil I got. All right, so I don't hear any air bubbles or anything. So that feels pretty good. Yeah, I got a ride planned for next Tuesday. And so I adjusted the chain, lubed it, kind of cleaned up the bike a little. This thing's running great. I put the stock 50 Pilot in the DR. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to collapse the forks. We're looking for 5 inches or 130 milliliters. And I can see the oil there. And I have a flashlight because we cannot mess up. Okay. I don't think Procycle would give me another. Can I have another bottle? I messed up. Okay. Right there. Yeah, right there is right at 5 inches. Okay, so let me double check one more time. Right there. Oops, right there. And that's 5 inches. All right. Man, I lucked out on that one. All right. So this one's good. We got 5 inches of oil. Or I'm sorry, 130 milliliters. And it was a skosh over, that's right, I forgot about that. So it was a skosh, it should have been a little skosh over 5. Okay, so because I measured, because I measured 130, and that was just a smidge. Let me see if you can see it. Yeah, that was just a smidge over 5. So that was probably correct the first time because I was just down a little. So no big deal. We'll have a smidge, a little bit more oil than what they call for, just by like a 1/16 of an inch is what we're going to be over. All right. So let me pump this guy. Okay. And then let me get my razor blade. I did something when I was riding the XR the other day, man. My wrist has been killing me. So I didn't crash or anything. Didn't hammer it. Okay. So then this guy will go in. And I have one of these, have one of those. And on installing this, the threaded part, this part goes down. So this will go down like this. Excellent. Put that down like that. And yeah, I forgot about that little bit extra that was over. Okay, well that's fine. A 1/16 of an inch of oil is not going to kill me. So, all right. And then these go in either way. Okay. So we're going to put this guy in. Okay, so we're going to put this guy in. This goes face down like this. I got my little, you know, I think I can just drop these guys in. Let me see. Yeah, I think I can just drop it in. I'll make a splash, so I'll cover it once I drop it. All right, and so you can't see, but I can see that. Boy, that oil's already kind of cloudy. So, all right. So that guy's in. We're going to take the spring. We're going to push this guy down. This one doesn't matter. Everything's the same. Okay. And we're not going to use the spacer, but we are going to use this little washer. So then that goes that way. There it is. Then we're going to screw the cap back on. I got some oil on my fingers. And I will kind of rub it around that seal. I don't think I need my flashlight anymore. There we go. All right. Okay, so this guy is done. Just wiping my oily hands on it. Okay. And this one will go on this side. Okay, let's do the next one. We'll do it even better. All right. So then I have extra oil here. We have one of these that's empty. Okay, so my other fork leg is over here. All right. Nothing coming out. And up and down it goes. All right. So we're going to do the same on this guy. We're going to empty our new one. And I have new decals. That's probably the best thing. All right. So we're going to lean this up against the bike. Put that in there. I'm going to fill this guy up. And last time one bottle was 400 and about 460 cc's, milliliters. Okay, so there's one bottle. Now the next thing we're going to do is just like the last one. We're going to bring it up to the 500 mark. We'll dump that in, and then we will add 100 cc's. And we'll see how much we got left. So, try and get that in the camera for you. So we have 500 of our 600 cc's. I'm going to put that there. I'm going to put the lid back on because I know myself. All right. Nothing's worse than having to stop and go up to the motorcycle shop and try and find this fork coil. Okay. All right. So goes our 500 cc's. Gonna do like we did last time. Just kind of going by sound. Yep, almost like last time. Let's go another little bit. Put about half of it in there. Okay, so I'm going to pump this guy up and down. Okay, we're back all the way to the top. Let's pour the rest in. Okay, so we now have 500 cc's, 500 milliliters of, down on the legs, of fork oil in here. And like on the last one, I don't hear any more there we go. I don't hear any more air bubbles. All right. So now we're going to put our funnel down here. We're going to securely put our, because we don't want this thing to fall, we're going to securely put our fork leg here. There's no way that guy's going. Okay. Now we're going to put 100 cc's, milliliters, in this guy. And we're actually going to just go a smidge more. Okay. Because last time I put a little bit in afterwards. So there's our 100. And I mean, we're talking just a smidge more. See if you can see that. There we go. Perfect. All right. So there is a, just by the way it feels, I'd say about that much left over. So you do have a little bit of cush. But don't use it. Cush goes pretty quick. All right. So now we have our, let me hold this here where you can see it. There we go. So now we have our, just a smidge over 100. Because I put the other one at 5 inches from the top. And so I had to add a little bit. If I'd been thinking, I would have thought, oh yeah, it's 5 inches in a 1/16 is what 130 milliliters is. So, but I wasn't thinking, so I put in 5 inches from the top. But like I said, a 1/16 of an inch of extra oil is not going to be noticeable. And now I'm just pumping it to work it up in there. And then we'll extend it. And then we'll pop it on down. And we're all the way bottomed. And then now we will get this and this, and I will hold this with my legs. That worked out better last time. Woo! All right. There we are. And we are at 5 inches. I'm going to try and get where you can see that. So anyway, we're right at 5 inches. Try do one more double check. And it's touching right there. Right there, and there's 5. See if you guys can see. Anyway, we're dead on 5 inches. So 5 inches is just a 1/16 of an ounce more because I set the first one for that. So I'm good with it. All right. I'm not going to be draining. Oh, I'll be out riding and going, damn, that extra 1/16 of an inch in oil, man. It's just making my world hurt. Did you see what I almost did? I was chit-chatting and I almost put in the spring, so, which would have sucked because I would have had to pull it out. And as I pulled it out, that would have pulled oil out with it. So Good thing you guys let me know this stuff. Here comes one of my neighbors. All right. They'll go, why has that guy got a camera on his head? You're like, don't worry about it, baby. Don't worry. Okay. And flashlight, we'll need that one more time. And we can just drop this down in. And I can see we're facing up the right direction. Okay. It's the time when all my neighbors go home. What you doing? Can I watch? All right. So I've confirmed that that little valve is just right, facing the right direction. Let's put a new spring in. Okay, so that guy's in there. And then we're gonna put the new spring in. But I tell you what, let's bring it up higher first, eh? Eh? There we go. Fantastic. All right. And we're once again, we're not, I was told, boy, that would actually almost fit. But I was told not to use that spacer by Procycle. Just use the shim. I mean the little washer. Okay. And we'll put the cap back on. Boy, it almost seems like it does need something to, so they know better. I remember one thing, you know, like I said, yeah, there'd be no way you could have that guy on there. Because you'd have that there. Well, I guess you could. Well, I wonder if they know what they're talking about. Because that would actually fit very nicely. Well, I'm thinking now if I should have that shim on or not. Where's my instructions? Just for the fact that it fits really good with that shim. Add new fork oil. Ensure level is set by fully compressing fork, measuring from the top edges, 130 in most cases. Carefully lower the DDC, that's the drop-in damper cartridge. Okay. Install spring with the OEM washer at the top. Install the OEM spacer. Aha. The guy at Procycle told me not to do it. Or carefully lower the DDC into the fork, oriented the smaller outer diameter, located ring, nylon downward. I did that. Ensure it's seated. Okay. Install spring with the OEM washer at the top. And I did that. Install the OEM spacer, or cut a spacer if you are not using Cogent spring to provide correct spring load of 8 millimeters in most cases. You know what? And this one here, when I put it on, it actually had a little bit of slop to it. So I'm kind of wondering. I mean, it goes on beautifully with the spacer. And 8 millimeters. 8 millimeters. I know, still using the old one. I have a digital one. It's one of those things where I don't know where it's at. You know what? And this guy is right at 8 millimeters. I'm going to run the spacer. So if anyone's watching this, I'm going to run the spacer because I'm sitting right at, even with this old style, this is close enough. So I'm sitting right at 8 millimeters from the top. So I'm going to pull that one out and I'm going to put that spacer back in. So I'm not sure he told me the correct thing or he didn't understand, but I asked him about spacers and he said with the Cogent springs you don't need to put the spacers in, only the washer. So I don't think that's true because that would give me, how big are those spacers? What, 1.5 inches, 2 inches? That would give me that much slack. So we're going to run it like this. I can always pull those things out. That's easy peasy. But Yeah, I'm not really thrilled putting them together with without the spacer. Yeah, now how big is the spacer? I have this one. This is an inch and a half. Oh, I know everything. All right, so the spacer's an inch and a half. So when I put the other fork leg on without it, you know, I was pushing it up in the fork tube, and it actually had, I didn't like the give in it, so, of the inch and a half. So we're going to do that. We're going to run the spacers. I mean, if it's wrong, it's wrong, but I think it's, I don't think you could have an inch and a half gap in there. So I'll call them tomorrow, but for now, I'm kind of good. Making a judgment call of my own. And we'll put this guy in. It goes that way. Yeah, I'm going to run the spacer. I mean, to me, that makes sense. It's not the end of the world if it's not correct. Okay. And I'll wipe this down. Well, it'd be kind of cool to have just the naked fork legs. All right. And here we are, losing my tools again. All right. Who stole my wrench? All right. There it is. All right. So that's an easy fix. At least I discovered it now. So we're going to go over here. Put that there. Put that there. I'm just going to see, I took that stupid reflector thing off in the bracket. You know, the Honda has one, but it's just a small compact thing. Suzuki, they went with three times the size. And when I put these in, I just put it right up to where the edge of the fork where it meets the cap is right there. All right. So I tell you, I'm going to snug this guy. Because brake line's in the way. Yeah, I'm going to snug this guy down. And then before I tighten the top one, I'm going to tighten that cap. But I want to do that when the wheel's on and all that crap's on. So that way, if I'm tightening it, it's not going to go anywhere. I'm just doing these little bit by little bit. That's why they're called pinch bolts. All right, and we're going to undo this one. We're going to put that spacer in. And I will call Cogent tomorrow. I mean, I'll call it Procycle tomorrow, but I believe this is correct the way they're going in now. Okay. Yeah, because see, without them, you have that much play with nothing. No, that's not right. I don't even need to call them. That's just not right. So if you're doing one of these things, do like the instructions say, and put this, was it CDD, the Cogent DDC. Okay, so put the drop-in cartridge. So put the cartridge in first. Put your spring on. Put that little washer on, and then, no matter who you hear it from, at this point, put the Suzuki spacer in. So, because I measured it, that gave me my 8 millimeters of free play here at the front. Here, I mean, under the cap. So, everything points to running it like that. And I see guys on YouTube, they'll be doing like this, you know, as they're tightening, and that's okay. I think you have more of a chance to mess up this nut. This is a Mac wrench. I love these things, but most of your wrenches don't have the extra grip in the corner, and it's actually better if you use a 6-point. But yeah, I would say use the box and you get a little bit more grip, but that's just my preference. But I do see other guys just using the open end of the wrench, and you just just don't look proper. All right. So let's put this bad dude back on. And I already feel better about it without that. I mean, with that, and I'm not sure if you can see, but there's a lip here from where you have the fork cap and the fork steel tube. I bring that right to the edge. Then I'll just tighten this guy down. There we go. Slipped on me a little bit. Okay. And then same thing. I'm just gonna tighten a little bit there. Tighten a little bit there, and I'm sure there's a torque. There we go. There we go. There we go. Uno más. One more. Excellent. All right. So now it's just a simple matter of putting the wheel and stuff back on. But that's, I don't know if I'll keep the camera going for that because it's kind of everyone knows how to do that. But yeah, see here it says, I actually, in fact, the reason I called them was because I got the 6.3s, and it says that's for someone, riders weight 240 to 290, and it's like, well, geez, I'm 215, 220, And they said, well, with your gear, and then are you going to put a big tank on it? And I go, yeah, eventually. And they'll say, oh, yeah, that'll bump you up and right on to the 240. So I go, okay. But I do kind of ride a little bit hard. I mean, not with the rear, but I do kind of stand up and slam things, so I'm sure that'll be fine. But anyway, I have the 0.63 spring rate, and see here it gives you the 8 millimeters of preload, and that is what I got when I measured with my handy dandy plastic. Like I said, I have a digital one, but God knows where it's at. Okay, yeah. So there's 8 millimeters. Good. So anyway, that little barb hanging off the end of this, there's your 8 millimeters. And so I had that much preload with the spacer. 130 millimeters of oil is 5 inches and like a 1/16. So I put it to there, and actually I went 5 inches. So that just put me like a 1/16 extra oil, because I kind of messed up on the math at first. I forgot that it was 5 and a 1/16, which would have been right at the 600 cc's per leg. Millimeters, cc's, same. Had I put it at the 600 cc's or milliliters, like I had poured it in, it would have been just right on. But then I bumped it up to 5 inches because I wasn't thinking 5 inches and a 1/16. So, but anyway, I have 5 inches of oil level. So just cut me some slack on that, man. That's all I ask.